The Saul Canelo versus Terence Bud Crawford fight is officially off, reported by Turki Al-Sheikh, who now owns Ring Magazine, on the Ring Magazine account on X, formerly known as Twitter. They tweeted 15 hours ago, the planned Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight is off. They said further details will be revealed later on as they get more information. But somebody that works for the Ring Magazine, I'm going to pull his account up right now on X. His name is Keith Idek. If you look at his bio, he says he writes about boxing for Uncrowned Combat, and he also writes boxing for Ring Magazine, so he works for Turki Al-Sheikh. And he said this on X. He said, for those who don't understand what's happening here, Canelo doesn't want to fight Terence Crawford. Either Benavidez is bigger, younger, strong, granted chin wasn't a knockdown, but unless something changes, why would he not want to fight a 37-year-old welterweight? Right? So somebody responded to him and says, because as he already said, if he beats him, people would just say Bud was too small like they did with Charlo. It is what it is. Keith Idek responded and said, or you lose to a 37-year-old welterweight, a bad motherfucker for sure, and can't excuse it anyway, or maybe you win. He obviously be the favorite. He isn't interested in finding out apparently, right? So this is confirmed from somebody that works for Ring Magazine and Turki Al-Sheikh. Canelo Alvarez has no interest in fighting Terence Bud Crawford, and I'm disappointed, guys, because, and you guys can check this out on my YouTube channel. I already made a video about this. If this fight actually did happen, right, which I thought it was, because just 2-3 days ago, the Ring Magazine said that there was an agreement in place, and they even found a venue in Las Vegas for this fight to happen. They even had a date, guys. The fight was going to happen in September of this year. They had a venue. They had a date. They said there was an agreement in place, which means all they needed was both boxers to sign off. I would have had Canelo Alvarez knocking out Terence Crawford simply based off of the fact that Terence Crawford was moving up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez. He was going to skip 160. He's never fought at 160. And he was going to go to 168. And based off of his performance against Israel Madrimov, which was his debut at super welterweight, 154, right? I think Terence Crawford lost that fight, right? And to the people out there that's going to come on my channel and come on my comment section and say, oh, how could you think Crawford lost to Madrimov? Teofimo Lopez thinks Crawford lost to Madrimov. Ryan Garcia thinks that Crawford lost to Madrimov. Mike Tyson said he didn't like how Terence Crawford looked against Madrimov. He felt like that weight class was too big for him. Many boxers, many professional boxers have come out and agreed with your boy Wavy and said Terence Crawford did not look good against Israel Madrimov. The only people that are saying that he looked good against Madrimov is Terence Bud cocksuckers, right? But to the Terence Bud fans out there, right? Stay on this video, keep listening, because I'm going to give Terence Bud Crawford a lot of credit, right? Now, like I said, if this fight actually happened in September, I had Canelo Alvarez knocking out Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford has no business fighting at 168, right? And Canelo Alvarez has one of the best chins in the history of boxing. There was nothing Terence Crawford could have done. All he could have done is tried to put on a Dimitri Bivol type of performance where he was going to move around, you know, and basically outbox Canelo, right? That would have been his only chance of winning, right? If anybody thinks that Terence Crawford had even a 5% chance of knocking out Canelo Alvarez, you don't understand boxing, you're delusional. You need to put the weed down, and you need to put down the goddamn Don Julio. You dig what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, right? So, it's confirmed that this isn't happening because Canelo doesn't want the smoke, right? And I'm disappointed in Canelo Alvarez because Canelo Alvarez, whether you like him or not, he's the face of boxing, right? And this is a huge letdown for boxing fans because, you know, Canelo has already made it clear as day that he has no interest in fighting David Benavidez, right? He was already offered the Benavidez fight, and he turned it down to the point where, you know, Al Hammond and the PBC, they basically was trying to tell Canelo, look, if you're not going to fight David Benavidez, we can't keep paying you all this money. And Canelo threatened to leave the PBC, right? He was going to go meet with Eddie Hearn and sign a new deal with the Zone. And that's when we ended up getting the Jaime Munguia fight, where Canelo ended up going back to PBC, right? To fight Jaime Munguia, right? David Benavidez confirmed this in multiple interviews. David Benavidez said that, you know, he was willing to, basically get one of his lowest paydays, right? Basically, this is what Canelo did, right? So Canelo basically was trying to get David Benavidez to get a shitty payday. David Benavidez said that he was only going to make $5 million from the Canelo fight, right? Now, obviously, that's not a shitty payday. It's $5 million. But most dudes that fight Canelo make more than that. You understand what I'm saying? They make more than that. But Canelo was basically trying to give David Benavidez an offer that he thought he would have turned down, but he accepted it, right? And Canelo still didn't want the fight. Canelo still didn't want to sign a deal to fight David Benavidez, right? And Canelo has said himself in multiple interviews, he doesn't want to fight David Benavidez. He knows he's a good fighter. It's a huge risk. He feels like he's already taking huge risk fights, right? And he has no interest in fighting a guy, right? And it's not because of his size. It's not that. It's just because, Canelo doesn't think he can beat him. He doesn't want to take the risk, right? So that's why I'm disappointed that we can't get this Terence Bud Crawford fight, because this is a super fight, guys. Like, this would have been a fight that ESPN would have been talking about. Stephen A. Smith would have talked about this fight. Shannon Sharp would have talked about this fight. All the major, sport outlets would have talked about this fight. Skip Bayless would have been talking about this fight. And this would have been a good fight for boxing fans, because you got Terence Bud Crawford, who's currently top 3. Most people got him number 1 or number 2, pound for pound. And then you got the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez. You understand what I'm saying? And I just wanted to see this fight just to see if Terence Bud Crawford could actually pull it off. But the fact that Canelo is ducking Terence Crawford, you ducking a welterweight. You ducking a super welterweight that was going to move up to 168. And now I'm hearing that your next fight is going to be against Jake Paul. This is a spit in the face to boxing fans, man. Until you Canelo Alvarez fans out there, you're a part of the problem. You're a part of the reason why Canelo is comfortable doing this to us, man. Because he knows it don't matter who we fight. His fans is going to support him. His fans is going to make excuses for him. And his fans is going to pay the pay-per-view to see him fight. You understand what I'm saying? We already know that Canelo versus Jake Paul would be a huge fight, because Jake Paul brings an audience of casual boxing fans that, even though they're not hardcore, because they're familiar with Jake Paul, and Jake Paul has fought all these MMA fighters, and Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson, right? A lot of people will want to see Jake Paul versus Canelo Alvarez just because of the spectacle, right? Jake Paul, let's be honest, man. Jake Paul is a star in the sport of boxing, right? And he brings a lot of new eyes to the sport of boxing. I love what Jake Paul is doing for boxing. But Canelo Alvarez, man, you being the face of boxing doing this, if this is what you're going to do, bro, I would be happy if you just came out and said, look, guys, I'm going to retire in a year or 2, right? But Canelo Alvarez is still young. You're like 34 years old. You understand what I'm saying? And you got guys out there that they want to fight you, man. Actual boxers, not these YouTuber boxers like Jake Paul. And I'm not trying to disrespect Jake Paul, because once again, I love what Jake Paul is doing for the sport of boxing. But you're not even willing to fight Terence Crawford, who's 37 years old. He's older than you. And he was willing to move up 2 weight classes to prove to the world that he's the best boxer in the world. And you don't even want to do that for the boxing fans, right? Canelo, if you want to fight Jake Paul in July, bro. They're saying they're going to fight in July. Fight Jake Paul. But why can't we get Terence Crawford in September, bro? You don't want to give us David Benavidez, and you don't want to give us Terence. So who is he going to fight? Guys, let me know in the comment section. After Jake Paul, who the fuck is Canelo Alvarez going to fight? Who is he going to fight? William Skull? Some bum that know... The only people that know who William Skull is... Bro, a lot of hardcore boxing fans don't even know who William Skull is, bro. Niggas never even heard that name. You understand what I'm saying? Who is he gonna fight? Who is he gonna fight? Who is he gonna fight after Jake Paul, bro? So I'm pissed off, man. And shout out to Terence Bud Crawford for daring to be great. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The reason why I don't like Terence Crawford is because he beat Errol Spence. But even though I didn't like how he looked against Israel Majimov at 154, I have to give respect to Terence Bud Crawford for calling out Canelo and showing the world that this guy isn't who people think he is, man. This guy's a chicken. This guy's a duck, This guy just wants to continue to make millions of dollars and fight people that he knows he's not going to lose to, Like, for example, like a lot of people, like when you bring up the fact that Canelo was not fighting good boxers, right? A lot of people say, oh, well, Canelo fight Dimitri Bivol. What you guys don't understand is Canelo only fought Dimitri Bivol because he didn't think Dimitri Bivol could beat him. Like, really think about this, guys. Go on Dimitri Bivol's boxing record, right? And look at who Dimitri Bivol has fought, right? Dimitri Bivol didn't fight anybody with a big name that would make you think he would have beat Canelo Alvarez. We already seen Canelo Alvarez move up to 175 and beat Sergey Kovalev, you know, who's a big puncher. This guy knocked down Andre Ward, you feel me? Like, the only reason Canelo fought Dimitri Bivol is because he didn't think he was going to lose. And once he lost and the rematch didn't happen, look at all the fights that he's had since then. He fought a baby Charlo who moved up from 154. You understand what I'm saying? He fought Edgar Bologna, a bum. He fought Jaime Munguia, a guy that nobody asked for. Jaime Munguia just got knocked out in this last fight. You understand what I'm saying? Like, really think about this, guys. Who has Canelo fought that we actually wanted to see him fight? Think about that. So, shout out to Terence Bud Crawford, man. I apologize for being so critical of him. This guy's got the heart of a lion. He's not scared to fight anybody. And I love the fact that he dared to be great, even though we're not getting this fight. I love the fact that he was willing to, you know, put his record on the line to prove to everybody that he's the real deal, man. And I'm officially a Terence Bud Crawford fan, man, because obviously Canelo's scared of this guy, man. I picked Canelo to knock Terence out, and Canelo himself don't believe he could beat or knock out Terence. So shout out to Terence Bud Crawford, man. I'm a fan now, bruh. Let me know what y'all think about this video. I'm pissed the fuck off. This is why, guys, I want to say this before the video's over. This is why boxing is a dying sport. Because we don't get the fights that we want to see. We can't get Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. We can't get Gervonta Davis versus Devin Haney. We can't get we can't get none of we can't get Canelo versus David. I mean, God, it seems like the only fights that we couldn't get Deontay Wilder versus AJ when they was in their prime, you know, beating dudes. We can't get nothing that we want to get, man. You understand what I'm saying? The last time we got a fight that we really, really wanted to see was Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, bro. You understand what I'm saying? So let me know what y'all think about this video, man. It's your boy Wavy. I'm out, man. Fuck Canelo Alvarez.